Hello, all you positive heads out there. It's so good to be back with all you beautiful reflections of the one source consciousness that creates and animates all things. If you're new to this podcast, of course, we are super happy to have you here, and we just ask that you bring an open mind and heart to your listening experience and to be prepared to explore vantage points that I'm convinced will help shift or solidify your current understanding of the ultimate nature of reality in a way that is extremely empowering. Speaking of exploring powerful perspectives, I'm super excited to announce the release of my very first book, The Golden Key: Modern Alchemy to Unlock Infinite Abundance. If you're ready to alchemize the circumstances in your life so that your abundance expands to an entirely new level in 2021, head over to goldenkey.gift to download the audio or ebook as my gift to you by using the code POSITIVEHEAD.
All right, all you positive heads, welcome. Welcome, one and all. I am very grateful that you have joined me today. Today, I'm excited to share with you a session that I did yesterday with a woman who is 99 years old. 99. It was such an honor to even meet her and to get to sit and chat with her and hear her life story and hear her advice. And wow, 99 years old. I've never met anyone who is that old. And by the way, I walked in to her home, which I normally don't do sessions at people's homes, but in this case, I made an exception. And I walked in, and when I looked at her, I couldn't believe she was 99. She doesn't look a day over 70. Just radiant, glowing, beautiful head of hair. And I'll tell you what, this woman has such a pep in her step. Like, so spry, smart as a whip, and it was just such a pleasure and such an honor to work with her yesterday. And also very interesting to do a session with somebody who was at the end of her life in this way. Of course, she's not going to live all that much longer. Of course, she maybe could have another 20 or so years. Who knows? People do live that long nowadays. But she feels like she is coming to her time sometime soon, but you do never know. But it's very interesting to do a session with someone who is this close to going back home. And so when I had her out in trance, she was speaking directly to God. And God told her that He wanted her to tell as many people as she could this message. And then she said, well, I don't know how I'm going to do that. I don't really talk to that many people. And I said, well, maybe I can help you out with that. I think I might be able to tell a few more people. So here we are, and I'm going to share her message and bits of her session with you today. And so basically, it started out with God telling her that she had learned to be me. That means that she had learned to love everyone and to be kind to everyone, and that she didn't see anybody differently, and that there was nobody better than anybody else. And I love this because this is something that my grandparents used to always try to instill in us. I even have it tattooed on me in a different language, but it says, there is no one better than you, and there is no one less than you. And that is probably one of the best pieces of advice to live by ever in this world. And this is what God had to say as well. And so, obviously, a very good piece of advice. And so God told her that He would like to see everyone be like her, for people not to be so inconsiderate of others and not always thinking about themselves, because that's a lot of what we see in the world today. And so she was told that in her next life, she's going to be able to go to a different planet to learn different things. And on this planet, she will learn to see every being and every body from all of the other planets the same as everyone. So it's like the next level up. And so instead of being greedy for things, they would just be themselves. And they would be so happy living in that love of knowing who they are. And they would love one another and not be so much thinking about the things. And then she went on to explain that love is what heals everybody, and that all there is love, and there is nothing else that exists but love. And I asked her to try to explain that a little bit more. And they said it's hard to put into words because you all always misunderstand when we say to just be me, the I am. We always misunderstand really what that means. And all God wants us to know is love. Love yourself. Love one another. Be kind. It truly is that simple to be that loving I am. And so they were telling her that she's supposed to let everyone know that she can, that all of us here are a part of God. And that humans, all of us here, need to be conscious of the fact that we are all the same, and to not listen to our minds, but to listen to our hearts instead. God went on to say that he did not create the mind to be the boss. It was the human race that chose to be the mind instead of the heart. And then they have to learn to realize that they are just me and act like it. And so they said that a couple times, to learn to be me and act like it.
Before we continue on with today's episode, I'd like to take a moment to share an exciting new development in my world that can benefit those of you who are itching to get out there and travel as we begin to emerge from the COVID chrysalis. If you've been listening to this podcast for a while, at some point you've most likely heard me talk about my personal hero's journey tale regarding the Inc. fastest growing private travel company I co-founded that imploded back in 2015. Well, out of the ashes of that challenging lesson, my brother and I started a new travel company called Hello Vacay. And an exciting new chapter has just unfolded in my travel company saga as Hello Vacay recently secured a huge partnership with the world's largest online travel agency, Priceline. Essentially, due to our past success working with them all those years ago, they have agreed to give us access to their deeply discounted private wholesale booking rates. Our new site at hellovacay.com is sort of like the Costco for hotel and alternate accommodations because it allows anyone to get access to these wholesale rates, which are up to 50% off the normal booking rates you'll find on all the other major online travel sites. The only caveat is that they won't let us display these rates publicly because they're so much lower than even what you would see at Priceline.com. So to offer them, they insisted that we have a paid membership for people to get access to these much lower rates. However, since I love you all for listening to me moan about this story for all these years, we're setting you up with 50% off the monthly or annual membership fees when you use the code POSITIVEHEAD. So with the code, you'll get the first month free just to check it out and see what it's all about. And then it's like $4 a month to get access to savings that can easily add up to thousands of dollars a year if you travel with any regularity. I personally saved over $200 in one weekend when I went to Seattle not too long ago. So once again, if you plan to travel at all in the future, be sure to check out hellovacay.com. That's HELLOVACAY.com. Use the code POSITIVEHEAD, all one word, for a free month trial at checkout. And then after that month, the PHEAD 50% discount will kick in. And as you may guess, I would say next, journey well, everyone.
And so what does that mean to act like it? To be kind, to always see the love in each moment, or to at least try to see the love in every moment, because if that is all there is, then it's there. Sometimes we have to look a little harder to find it, but because that's all there is, then we can see it. We just have to try. And they said a few different times they were really wanting to focus in on this point of how we're so focused on our things, on all of our material possessions, and how important that is to us, and how we place the importance on that as opposed to one another. And at some point she said, instead, just be me, instead of just wanting the things like 2 cars and 2 of everything and all the things. They said that's not what you're here for. You are supposed to find out that you are love too, because it's love that I am, and everything that there is, I am. Good or bad, there is a bright and a dark side of everyone, and you have to learn who you really are. You have to be me. You have to be kind to everyone. You are all a part of me. I have no favorites, God said. I don't care what you do. I don't give you free will and then say, you're going to hell for that, when I told you you had free will. So you can learn how to be in love with yourselves. So few people are in love with themselves. They have to learn who they really are, and that is love. That's all there is love. Until you become me in that way, you won't have happiness. Once you find me within, then you are on your way to heaven. But as long as you continue to be what your mind has chosen, then that is all you will find, are those things, and it won't take you anywhere. So tell everyone that they are God, and they should act like it. And then I asked, well, how can we learn this better? What is some advice that you could give us so that we can learn this more and more for ourselves? And they said, you just have to stop being so greedy for the things and just love everybody the same. Just love everybody the same. And that means releasing judgment, releasing fear, releasing guilt and shame and whatever it may be, and loving everyone the same. And I think that we can all do that. And it is going to take some conscious effort, some daily conscious effort. And we can do that. Daily conscious effort, finding the love in the moment, knowing that every single person that we come across is also a part of Creator Source, just like us. No better, no less. And that is something that we need to all remind ourselves of every single day. Because sometimes people come into our lives and push our buttons a little bit and make us mad. And then we don't see them so much as Creator Source. But they are. And they're also doing you a favor to help you learn that even in the hardest of times like that, when it's even harder to love somebody who's pushing your buttons, when you can love that person, you're really on your way, right? So the harder it is, the greater the reward. And we gotta learn to love even the Hitlers out there. Because you know what? She went on to explain that as well. And I'll tell you about that in a second. But first, the last thing that she started to explain before she got into that was that we never, ever, ever, ever stop learning. And God was saying that even I still learn, that I am constantly learning, and that everybody always has to learn on their own pace, and that anybody is no different than anybody else in this regard as well. And that everyone learning at their own pace is what is perfect for them. This is a school. This is a school where we learn, and we need to learn different things. And if we didn't learn different things, then it wouldn't mean anything. So we have to have the ups and downs in order to know the difference. And this is where God brought up Hitler. They said, I love Hitler the same as everyone else, just the same as everyone else. He is busy right now making up for what he did. There is no hell. You make your heaven and your hell right here on earth. It is what you make it. And so they explain that when Hitler died and went through his life review, he then had to experience from the perspective of every single person who he had affected, from their perspective, meaning if he had caused someone intense grief and tragedy and loss, he felt exactly what that person felt. And in Hitler's case, he felt that a lot. Can you imagine what that feels like to a soul, to feel all of that at once? Whew, right? And so in that soul perspective, you have a whole different outlook on that. And so they were saying that because of that, he put himself away. He put himself away in a space that he was away from all the other souls so that he could be essentially quarantined until he could make peace, make sense, and heal his soul from what he had done. And this is a very interesting concept that I have heard in other places before, to where when our soul goes through something that intense, that the healing place is so very necessary in order for it to recoup itself again. And it takes quite some time before it's able then to be reintegrated back into hanging out with everyone else. And so it doesn't feel so distorted. So very, very interesting concept. At the end of the day, here's the whole point. There is nobody better or less than anybody else, and that God loves us all the same, whether we are Hitler or whether we are amazing positive head listeners that are trying to live in love and light every single day and helping one another and being kind to one another. And I think that's just a really good point for us all to remember. We are all loved the same, all of us, regardless of what our choices may be. And so the final message that she was given in her session was, tell everyone that they are God. And it is their actions that are what affect what happens to this world. So tell as many as you can. Tell as many as you can that they are all God, no matter what they think, because they are a part of me. And with that, I'm going to leave you all for today with a beautiful song by Ayla Nario called All of This. Until next time, I love you all.
Also, before we cue up today's song, as a quick reminder, don't forget to download the Golden Key audio or ebook as my free gift to you at goldenkey.gift using the Golden Key code POSITIVEHEAD. And please, if you enjoy my gift, leave a positive review on Amazon so others can unlock their lives with the help of the Golden Key as well.
I am but a part of this. All I am is all I give. Everything that comes to me comes as sure as I will breathe. I am but a part of this. All I am is all I give. Everything that comes to me comes as sure as I will breathe. I am but a part of this. All I am is all I give. Everything that comes to me comes as sure as I will breathe. I am but a part of this. All I am is all I give. Everything that comes to me comes as sure as I will breathe. Sure as tempest storms us into, pulls us planets, our poles, orbits. Sure as forces spin us cycles, spirals, changes, joyous, frightful. Surely, my dear, you've sung to the moon. Cross desert and sand, cross time and land, cross hidden and blue. You've sung to the moon. Comes as sure as I will breathe. I am but a part of this. All I am is all I give. Everything that comes to me comes as sure as I will breathe. I am but a part of this. All I am is all I give. Everything that comes to me comes as sure as I will breathe. I am but a part of this. All I am is all I give. Everything that comes to me comes as sure is all I give. Everything that comes to me comes as sure as I will breathe.